Every man has a moment where he looks at his life and thinks, I should be further than this. You know you're capable of more. You know you've had opportunities. You know there were times you could have pushed harder, stayed focused, stayed disciplined. But instead, you pulled back. You took your foot off the gas. You stopped showing up. You distracted yourself. You settled for less than what you were building. And you tell yourself it was because you were tired, you were stressed, you needed a break, or life got in the way. But that's not the truth. The truth is brutal. You didn't sabotage your success because you're weak. You sabotaged it because a part of you didn't believe you deserved to win. Every habit you break, every routine you abandon, every goal you avoid, it's not lack of talent or motivation. It's the identity you're carrying. It's the story you believe about yourself. It's the subconscious programming built years before you ever set goals. There's a version of you, hidden, quiet, deeply rooted, that feels safer staying small than stepping into greatness. A version of you that believes, if I don't try, I can't fail. Success will expose me. People will expect too much from me. I'm not the type of man who wins consistently. If I grow, I might lose people. This version of you runs your life more than your conscious intentions do, and until you confront it, you'll keep repeating the same patterns, starting strong, falling off, feeling guilty, promising to change, repeating the cycle. Sabotage isn't a behavior problem, it's an identity problem. And in this video, I'm going to break down the real reason you keep sabotaging your success, the psychology behind why your mind drags you back into comfort, and how to finally break the loop you've been stuck in for years. Let's get into it. Most men think they sabotage their progress because they're lazy, unmotivated, or undisciplined. That's not the real issue. Laziness isn't the cause. It's the symptom. The real reason you keep sabotaging your own success is much deeper. Your life is being controlled by an identity you didn't consciously choose. You think you're making decisions based on logic and free will, but you're actually acting through the lens of old beliefs and emotional imprints formed years ago. These beliefs control your behavior more than your goals do, and until you confront them, you will always fall back into the same patterns. Let me break it down. Somewhere in your childhood or teenage years, you formed beliefs about yourself based on how people treated you, how much approval you got, how much support you received, how safe you felt to express yourself, whether you were encouraged or ignored, whether your success was celebrated or dismissed. Those early experiences built your internal script. Maybe you were told you were average, so you never aim higher. Maybe your effort went unnoticed, so you learned not to try too hard. Maybe your environment praised survival, not growth. Maybe the people around you didn't believe in themselves, and you adopted their limits. Now, every time you start succeeding, the story doesn't match your identity, and your mind pulls you back to the version of yourself it's familiar with. Not because you're weak, but because humans will always return to the identity that feels safe, even if it's destroying them. Here's the truth. No one tells men. Your nervous system values familiarity more than progress. If you grew up around chaos, instability, doubt, or low expectations, then that becomes your comfort zone, even if you hate it. So when you start doing well, your body feels unsafe, your mind panics, your old identity fights back. That's when you notice self-sabotage creeping in. Procrastinating, skipping routines, distracting yourself, chasing dopamine, avoiding responsibility, choosing instant gratification, lowering your standards, these aren't random behaviors. They're your subconscious pulling you back to what it knows. Success feels unfamiliar, and unfamiliar feels dangerous. 3. Your identity doesn't match your goals. This is the strongest psychological truth. You cannot outperform the identity you believe you are. If you secretly believe, you're inconsistent, you're not disciplined, you're not that guy, you're destined to fail, you're average, you don't deserve good things, people like you never win, then your behavior will always match that belief. You can set goals, you can read books, you can watch motivational videos, but if your identity hasn't shifted, you will sabotage anything that contradicts your internal self-image. Because identity drives habits. Habits drive behavior. Behavior drives results. So when a man tries to change his results without changing his identity, he always ends up back where he started. 4. You've been conditioned to fear your own potential. Most people talk about fear of failure, but men rarely admit the other truth. You fear success just as much. Because success comes with responsibility, pressure, exposure, higher standards, accountability, the risk of outgrowing people, the need to evolve daily. It's easier to stay small. It's easier to stay average. It's easier to stay unnoticed. Your sabotage is not lack of desire. It's fear of becoming the man you could be. Because that man requires more from you. More discipline, more honesty, more courage, more boundaries, more structure. Your old identity resists that, because becoming that man means killing the version of you that kept you safe. This is why you sabotage, not because you're incapable, but because your identity hasn't caught up to your potential. And until you address this internal conflict, you will keep repeating the same destructive cycles, no matter how badly you want to change. You don't sabotage your success because you're stupid. You don't sabotage because you lack discipline. You sabotage because your nervous system is addicted to the familiar, even when the familiar is destroying you. And until you understand this cycle, you'll keep wondering why your life resets every time you start making progress. There are 3 sabotaging cycles men fall into. 1. The comfort cycle. You choose what feels safe, not what moves you. Forward, your brain loves patterns. It loves routines. It loves predictability. So the moment you start doing something new, a new habit, a new routine, a new lifestyle, your mind sees it as a threat. That's the part men never realize. Your sabotage isn't rebellion, it's self-protection. Your brain is trying to keep you safe by pulling you back into scrolling, instant gratification, overeating, impulsive behavior, sleep instead of discipline, chaos you're familiar with. You're not choosing comfort because you're lazy. You're choosing comfort because your identity is still tied to who you used to be. And until that identity changes, the comfort cycle will always bring you back. 2. The fear cycle. Success terrifies you more than failure. Most men think they're scared of failing. But failure is familiar. You've experienced it. You know how it feels. Your ego can handle it. What you're really scared of is success, because success means you can't hide anymore. You can't blame your past. You can't play the victim. You can't pretend you're trying. People will expect more from you. You'll have to maintain discipline. You'll have to let go of old friends. Your environment will change. You'll outgrow familiar versions of yourself. Your entire nervous system interprets success as a threat. Not because success is bad, but because it requires you to evolve. and evolution feels like death to your old identity. So you subconsciously choose the familiar version of yourself, even when it's the version you claim to hate. That internal conflict is the root of your sabotage. 3. The safety cycle. You return to what matches your self-image. This is the deepest part. Your life gravitates toward what feels normal to you. If you're used to chaos, inconsistency, low standards, underperforming, dysfunctional environments, disappointment, then progress feels wrong. You'll notice this pattern. You start going to the gym, then you skip just once. You start waking up early, then you oversleep just today. You start eating clean, then you binge as a treat. You start a routine, then you break it for no reason. You start a creative project, then you abandon it halfway. It's not random, it's identity protection. Your mind is saying, this new version of you is unfamiliar. Go back to what we know. So you crash your progress. You pull yourself back to baseline. You rebuild just enough to feel better, and then self-destruct again. This is why men stay stuck for years. Not because they lack potential, but because their baseline identity is set to a level below their ambitions. And until you raise that baseline, every time you grow, your old identity will drag you back. It's not discipline you lack, it's alignment. This is why you sabotage your success. Your brain would rather keep you safe and stagnant than let you become powerful and unfamiliar. But this cycle can be broken, and the man you want to become is waiting on the other side of that break. You don't break sabotage by trying harder. You don't break sabotage by getting motivated. You don't break sabotage by promising yourself you'll do better. If discipline alone could fix this, it would have been fixed already. To break the pattern, you have to attack the root. Your identity, your emotional wiring, and the stories that have been running your life. Here's how you end the cycle for good. 1. You must redefine who you are before you redefine what you do. A man becomes unstoppable the moment he realizes you can't build a new life with an old identity. If you keep telling yourself, I always fall off, I'm not disciplined, this is just who I am, I've always been inconsistent, I don't have what it takes, then your behavior will obey those beliefs every single time. Identity is the foundation. Behavior is the decoration. So you must choose a new identity consciously. I'm the kind of man who finishes what he starts. I'm the kind of man who shows up even when I don't feel like it. I'm the kind of man who doesn't make excuses. I'm the kind of man who builds himself daily. At first it will feel fake. Good, that's the point. You're rewriting a script you never agreed to in the first place. Because once a man upgrades his identity, his habits follow automatically. 2. You must rewire your emotional comfort zone. Breaking sabotage means teaching your nervous system that growth is safe, success is safe, discipline is safe. Right now, your body interprets discomfort as danger, so you have to slowly retrain it. How? By exposing yourself to controlled discomfort consistently. Wake up earlier, train harder, take cold showers, speak up when you'd stay quiet. Do the task you avoid. Keep promises to yourself. Hold boundaries. Maintain routines even when bored. You're teaching your mind a new message. This is who we are now. This is normal. Once discomfort becomes familiar, your success stops feeling like a threat, and the sabotage loses power. 3. You must stop negotiating with yourself. Sabotage thrives in negotiation. I'll do it later. I'll start again tomorrow. Just this once. I deserve a break. It's not that deep. All of these thoughts are your old identity trying to survive. So you have to become the man who doesn't negotiate with himself. Not harshly, not emotionally, not aggressively, just decisively. A command, not a debate. This builds self-trust, which is the foundation of discipline. If you tell yourself something will be done, it gets done. No excuses, no loopholes, no escape routes. That's how a man becomes reliable to himself. 4. You must build systems, not rely on motivation. Success is not about intensity. It's about consistency. Motivation is temporary. Emotion is inconsistent. Willpower drains. Systems save you. A system means your gym schedule is automatic. Your routine is predictable. Your environment supports your goals. Your distractions are removed. Your priorities are clear. Your day is structured. Your time is accounted for. Systems protect you from yourself. Because once your life is set up to support your goals, your sabotage has nowhere to hide. 5. You must become a man who acts faster than he feels. The fastest way to end sabotage. Do what needs to be done before you have time to talk yourself out of it. Your life changes when you move before overthinking. You act before doubt kicks in. You start before fear builds. You make decisions without emotional negotiation. Slow action gives sabotage the window. Fast action kills it. A man who acts quickly becomes a man who wins consistently. 6. You must upgrade your standards to match the man you want to become. This is the final shift. You will sabotage your success as long as your standards are lower than your potential. So upgrade them, not slightly, dramatically. Raise the bar on your habits, your discipline, your friends, your environment, your work ethic, your mindset, your expectations, your boundaries, your routines. Because once your standards rise, your identity rises, your discipline rises, and the version of you that sabotaged everything can't survive in your new environment. You outgrow him, you bury him, you replace him. And that's when your life finally stops resetting. You sabotage your success because a weaker version of you is still alive. The moment you stop feeding him, your entire life changes. If anything in this video hit you, understand this. You are not fighting laziness. You're not fighting lack of motivation. You're fighting an old identity that's terrified of who you're becoming. But that version of you, he doesn't get to run your life anymore. You've seen the pattern. You've seen the truth behind your sabotage. And once a man becomes aware of his own programming, he's no longer controlled by it. From this point forward, every decision you make either strengthens the man you're becoming or feeds the man you're trying to bury. Choose with intention. Act with purpose. Raise your standards to the level of the future you want, not the past you survived. And if you're serious about breaking the cycle for good, do this. Hit the like button so this message reaches more men who need it. Drop a comment and tell me the one pattern you're done repeating, and subscribe if you're ready to become the man your old self never believed you could be. This is Relentless Man. Stay focused, stay disciplined, and as always, rise above your limits.